but it was back to work here at Dover on Friday morning, and he just told me, I can't stop smiling. I hope that that carries into today's race, and he gets his first win of the year. He's happy, of course, with the speed. Chris?
Well, William Byron hasn't finished in the top 10 since Texas 5 races ago, and he said that's going to change today. But he's only raced here one time in the Truck Series, so he said he's really leaning on his crew chief or his teammates for advice this week. And he said the best advice I've gotten is just don't get the balance too loose. You can't attack this racetrack with the back end hanging out. Matt Yoakum.
Chris, the environment here in Dover requires more aggression and less patience the farther back you qualify, which is great news for pole sitter Kyle Larson. Clean racetrack ahead. He can help dictate the pace, and obviously as the sun continues to come out more and bake this concrete, the groove will move up. Again, advantage Larson. He's never won here, though. His best finish is second, 2 wins in 2017. He'd love to add a third, Adam.
Never won here, Matt, and on the front row with Ryan Blaney, neither has led a lap in the history of Dover International Speedway. That's amazing when you consider how good they are. You saw the air temp, 69 degrees. Here's the stage breakdown, 60 laps in stage 1 and 2, 80 in our final stage. Daniel Hemrick to the rear, and that's unfortunate because he's one of those drivers eligible for the Dash for Cash, a bonus $100,000 on the line here today. We appreciate you being a part of our coverage on FS1, and we encourage you to go over to Fox Sports Go, where you can follow Darrell Wallace Jr. and Justin Allgaier on board with them. Their telemetry, a different view on what's happening from their driver's seat here this afternoon.
You'll be able to watch these drivers, Adam, and you can see that they have different driving styles. That'll be fun to follow.
Pacing the field today, the 2017 Toyota Camry XSE. Last 14 races at Dover, won from a top 10 starting position. Track position is always key when we come to this place. Kyle Larson, a 2-time winner this year, on the pole next to Ryan Blaney, who won last week, row 2. The drivers that won here a year ago: Daniel Suarez in October, Eric Jones in May. And keep an eye on the series regulars with that Dash for Cash on the line. Best of the bunch in qualifying, Brennan Poole and Matt Tifft. Ready to go green for the 67th time here at Dover, and we are underway at the Monster Mile.
Right off the bat there, you can see Larson get that good launch. That's something about this racetrack. If you can take that top, it seems like that outside lane gets a good launch through the gears, but Blaney was able to hold strong and get the second.
Nice jump for Matt Tifft, and the orange 19 got to 4th there.
Daniel Suarez in that 18, that's a car I think's got a lot of speed. He's working on Tifft, and that's tough sledding there, Joey. When you get down on the bottom underneath the guy here at Dover, your hands are busy.
And especially into the corner, when that car's light trying to land into the corner and you got someone on the outside, it is loose, to say the least. So you'll see guys definitely have to back up the corner a lot when you're going into it to try to keep your car under control.
Darrell Wallace Jr. started back in the 18th position, racing here with Allgaier and the 00 of Cole Custer.
And that's the worst combination right there, because he was inside of Allgaier and the 00 of Custer was right on his bumper, and that's going to make you get loose, even looser.
Yeah, they all but crashed right there. They got pretty lucky to get through that one.
Allgaier started 12th. He's up to 10th. Wallace 11th right now. Cole Custer there in 12th. The 6 on the move early, but company from the rookie out of California.
You see that top lane just gets so much momentum when you get to the exit. That bottom car gets so pinched off. You need every inch on the corner exits here at Dover. So when you get a car on the outside of you, it's just hard to keep that momentum.
When do you really start to feel a difference in the tires, Joey? We know you're going to qualify on new ones, so they're obviously faster. How long before the tires start to fall off and you have challenges?
Not too long, that's for sure. We got one spinning out over here.
First caution of the day. 39 of Ryan Seed.
That is amazing that he didn't get any more damage than that. I saw him heading straight into the outside wall at one point. Was able to spin around with just minimal damage.
He was running 17th when it got away from him.
Oh, it got away from Brendan Gaughan, and Sieg maybe just tried to drive lower than Gaughan. Was there any contact from Reed? But watch this angle. Looks like he's for sure going to hit that outside wall at one point.
Yeah, he did a good job hanging on to it. Not much he could have done there.
I would not have wanted to be Ryan Reed in the 16 in that situation.
Well, it's just hard to see what's happening up ahead, and you could see maybe just a slight tap into the back of the 39 of Sieg, and around he goes.
All started with Brendan Gaughan, who was 15th when he got sideways coming into turn 3.
I freaking can't stand the 4. Check the left front, had forward momentum, like he hooked it, could have pushed it forward. Right front, maybe dipped it in.
Not a good start for Brendan Gaughan, but remember last week at Charlotte, had a speeding penalty, had a spin, and still managed to finish 9th.
What a save.
Eight laps in here at Dover, about to go green once again. And what was it you were saying earlier about loose on the bottom, Joey?
Yeah, well, you'll see it right here. This is the worst spot you could be in. You see Brendan is door to door with the 4, and you're just going to get loose. You got to either be further back or further ahead, but that is the worst possible spot to enter the corner, and that's why you saw Brendan just get loose and try to hang on to that thing the best he could.
Gaughan and Sieg both went on the crash clock. Should be have an easy time making minimum speed here and get back into the game. We head toward the Geico restart zone. Put lap 9 on the board as we return to the green flag here at Dover.
You see Larson with that good launch again on that outside lane.
Blaney got a nice push there from the 20 of Eric Jones, giving him the momentum into the corner. He's able to clear Tift. Now Suarez will go to work on his teammate.
Suarez with a nice pass right there.
Yeah, you could see, Joey, he was able to get that nose ahead of the car he was passing on the outside. That seems to stabilize the cars quite a lot. If you can just get a couple feet ahead of them and not go in there door to door.
Once you get a couple feet ahead of him, that air off his nose is actually getting onto your spoiler, and it's going to make it life a lot better. Before that, you just have no air on the side of your car.
We did get a report that Sieg and Gaughan both made minimum speed, so they are good to go after that damage they received on our first caution of the day. On board, Darrell Wallace Jr. started 18th, trying to get in the top 10. This for 11th as he goes after Cole Custer.
Right here is where it gets tight, and it's hard to hold that momentum.
What about Custer early, Matt?
Early on, that 00 car is loose, but the more laps we run, the more it swings to the tighter side. And Cole told me that coming here, this is one of the more challenging racetracks for him. He said it's almost like being picked up and thrown up in the air when you were a little kid. It's just so violent on corner entry. And Joey, think back to your first times here. Where does this place rank as far as level of difficulty of trying to get a good feel?
Oh, they call it the Monster Mile for a reason, believe me, and it's eaten me up and spit me out a few times before, so it's a challenging racetrack, especially as a rookie coming in and figuring out how to pass cars and how to race is a whole separate thing of just going fast.
Brendan Poole's got a really nice car here today. You can see him really pulling up on the exit, and when you're following another car, it makes it difficult to make ground. And Poole's been able to close right back up onto Matt Tiff's bumper, even looking to the outside here. Fast car is the 48.
And the way you're going to pass cars here in this Xfinity car, because all of them are on the bottom, is you got to try to get lower than the car in front. You get a little bit air on that left front fender of your car, and try to get as close as you can to that car in front of you to try to loosen them up.
You know what Tift and Poole have in common right now? Top 2 series regulars. They're in those transfer spots for the Dash for Cash. We'll move 2 on to the final stage from this opening stage and make them eligible for the $100,000. And Poole trying to get inside the top 5 here.
And you know what William Byron has in common with these two? Well, first of all, he almost had a heart attack, as I did there, because Poole got a hold of the back end of the Tift car, kind of turned him a little bit sideways, and Byron was right there watching that.
Poole goes by. He's now 5th. And here's William Byron pushing the 19. What do you have for us, Jamie?
Well, Brendan Poole told me in practice they tried some things, and they really set the car up for a hot and slick day, and that's exactly what they're getting right now. Brendan also told me his 2 goals today: get more stage points and don't finish 8th. Adam, he's finished 8th 4 times this year.
But the Gibbs cars have been fast this year. You talk about Chip Ganassi Racing. They have been on their heels last week. Had both those Ganassi cars inside the top 10. Kyle Larson out front today, and Brendan Poole looking good in the 5th position. Teammates here, that's the 33 of Brandon Jones. Ty Dillon right there with him. That's for 14th.
You see, Brandon's trying to move up the racetrack, trying to get some momentum up there. Not sure it's working the best.
Ty back in 15th, and you can see he has air on his nose, but that car's just fidgety. It's loose everywhere he goes.
Yeah, he's got some air. It's not the best, but he's got some. He's leaving the bottom open enough to allow Ty to stay close.
This is probably one of the most challenging tracks to drive a loose car fast. Would you say, Joey?
It is. You're into corners for so long, and you're going so fast that it's hard to control these things. And that's where a lot of passes end up happening. Is you got to be free to go fast, but like we saw earlier, as soon as a car gets right to your back bumper and frees you up a little bit more, that's when you have that big moment and you go up the racetrack and you lose 2 or 3 spots.
And you know what's crazy? You make it through a corner, you get a good run off the turn, and you're loose. You're thinking, I got about 2 seconds to get ready for the next turn. It happens so quickly.
And in these Xfinity cars, there's no track bar adjuster. So you got what you got. So it's one of those places, if you keep burning those rear tires off, it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse until you just slow down and take care of your rears.
Watch this guy work. You can see all the input in the steering wheel. By the way, had a great time at the Drive for Autism golf tournament. Raised a lot of money. Artie Kipner and the crew does a great job. You can see Autism and AAA bringing us these great shots.
Hard to believe. Brandon Jones looking for his first top 10 of 2017, but the car's shown a lot of speed this weekend here at Dover.
Last night in his truck, he was about crashed and came away with the top 10, so maybe he can parlay that into another good run today.
Kyle Larson's got a fast race car. He's led all 22 laps today. We're closing on halfway in stage 1 at Dover.
Monster Mile definitely lives up to its name. It's definitely Miles a monster for sure. It can reach out and bite you anytime.
You got to feel like an animal to attack this place, and the monster can beat you up and spit you out.
I've hit the wall, I've had race cars break, parts break, things that they say that's not physically possible to break that part. I've broken them.
I think the Monster Mile is a great name for Dover. It's it's really tough, it's challenging, it's narrow. It's always a lot of fun coming here and getting to take on the monster.
The monster will bite, and it's done so again. Second caution of the day for Brandon Jones.
Adam, that's a third straight race. This team has had a spin and an accident. Exiting turn 4 is so tough. You can see just a little loose there.
And there it is. It just allows the 16 to get to his back bumper. And I don't think they actually hit each other, but he's already loose once in the corner, so he's already loose. And then when the 16 packs air onto the left rear of that car, there's not much holding onto it.
The monster, he bites.
You know.
Yep. Hard.
The last 5 races here, we've had 4 cautions in each race. I'm doing the math. We've had 2 already today. We know we're going to get 2 at the end of stage 1 and stage 2. It could be one of those afternoons. Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Brennan Poole, your top 5. Let's take a look at how Kyle Larson spotter Derek Nealon helped him worry less with the Liberty Mutual Insurance Spotter coverage.
Yeah, like our 3 and 4 is just like really good, at least compared to the 22. But yeah, I'd say center office 1 and 2 is probably our only, slow area. And I mean, that's just nitpicking, you know what I mean? No, it's good. You got to stay on top of it.
Every team has a good spotter. We've got ours, Kevin Clark. High above, watching the action at the Monster Mile. Restart comes as we complete lap 31 of 60 in our opening stage.
See Blaney with a good start there.
This is Suarez pushing Larson in that outside lane on the restart.
Blaney got a little loose down on the bottom like we've talked about. It even happens to the Cup stars. It's just a
Hard
very...
spot to be in. Right here is going to be tough too. Oh.
Just so crazy watching Joey. You knowing personally how hard this is to do.
Yeah.
When you see some of these moves, it makes you hold your breath.
Oh, no!
The body language in the booth. Tiff got around Brennan Poole on the restart. 48 charging back. Those are the two drivers right now that would transfer and be eligible for the Dash for Cash. Austin Dillon around William Byron. So some separation there.
Oh, and Dillon's loose. He hits the wall.
Cautions out. 3 cautions in 33 laps.
And once again, I mean, this is the place that you got to be free to go fast. But man, when you get in race situations, it gets so hard to drive your car loose, and it makes it challenging.
There's a theme developing. Caution 1, Brendan Gaughan. Caution 2, Brandon Jones. Caution 3, Austin Dillon.
Still right with you.
All Richard Childress racing cars.
He just got loose.
Keep it straight. No caution. No caution yet. No caution.
Just a bit on the high side, and you can see the thing just steps out.
Yeah,
Austin
it
was
hit a
running
very
8th.
important part of the car. That right rear quarter is a sensitive area, and you don't want to knock that over to the left, that's for sure.
Brandon Jones was 1 lap down after having that issue a while ago, so he's the first car in that category. Gets the free pass. He'll be back on the lead lap, putting 31 cars on the lead lap now. How tough is a driver when you have this many cautions early to find that rhythm?
It's tough because you're in traffic. There is no rhythm. You're adjusting what you're doing off of everybody else.
So Larry, we're past halfway in stage 1. Any thoughts about a strategy play here?
I think they'd love to come get tires, but as you can see, they're all going to stay out because, yeah, we're at lap 34, but we've only run 25 green laps. But we were having a conversation during commercial break. Remember, the set of tires on the car, which is a set they qualified with, but only 3 sets of Goodyear tires laying in the pits. That's what makes it the tough challenge. So I think we'd have to go pretty deep into this stage 1 before any of these drivers would think about hitting pit road under caution.
And we're looking at what in regard to fuel window here, Larry?
Yeah, it's about 90 to 100 laps. So, yeah, you could stop right here and make it in stage 2, but I think you still want to save a set of tires for the end of stage 1.
Cautions on track mean busy times for the spotter stand at Dover. .36 laps of 60 complete in our opening stage here at Dover for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Damage repair for Austin Dillon. He will return to the track. Be on that 5-minute clock. He'll not have to worry about that, but we'll have to get up to minimum speed once we return to the green flag. Let's remind everyone what the situation is here. 24 laps to go in this opening stage. Kyle Larson leads, then it's Ryan Blaney, Daniel Suarez, Eric Jones, Matt Tiff, Brennan Poole, top 2 series regulars. They would be the transfer drivers now for the Dash for Cash out of stage 1, Jamie.
And the 2, after getting that damage on the right side, he came in, they fixed the right rear damage. They called it the tail, so they fixed that, put right sides on it, went back out, and he came back in and just changed left sides. They continue to look at it, make sure they got enough Barabon tape on there. They also pulled a Packer to try to help the balance of that car as it was too loose.
Austin brought out the 3rd caution of the day. Last time we had 3 cautions here prior to lap 40. 10 years ago, we went on to have a record 13 cautions. We know we're getting at least 2 more at the end of stage 1 and stage 2.
You know, Joey, as a race car driver, look to get a rhythm in. I'm not feeling rhythm. Adam,
no rhythm here.
As a broadcaster, you feel the same way?
I got no rhythm. I can't dance either. So
I was going to say, I watched him dance. That rhythm, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you have much more rhythm than me.
No, I think you nailed that.
Larson, the race leader, starts in the outside lane as drivers make their way through the Geico restart zone.
Some teammates racing for 3rd up here.
The drivers that won the races here last year, Suarez and Jones.
Gibbs cars have always been fast here in Dover. That's not to be surprised to see those 2 racing up front, obviously.
Bubba Wallace there, Joey, went down into turn 1. It looked like the back end got out from under the 6 car. He slid way up the track. Luckily didn't hit anything.
Well, you got to think, too, these guys practiced, and it's cooler out and shaded. Now the sun's out, and this place is rubbered up a lot more after cup practice earlier today. It's just going to get slick out there, and you got no air on the car either, so it's just crazy. These guys been racing the whole race, by the way.
Yeah, I think Bubba worked really hard to get around Cole, then lost his car. Now he's got to do it all over again. There he goes. He's going to make the pass, though.
Well, he started 18th, drove right up to 12th, and really couldn't do much about it, but as you said, able to get around Cole Custer. And it's been 4 or 5 laps, so I think we should put out the yellow flag again. This time it's for the 13 of Timmy Hill, our 4th caution of the day.
Maybe that's our rhythm. You know, run a few laps, have a caution. That's a rhythm, but that's serious damage to the 13 of Timmy Hill.
That's got the looks of a right front. That, no, still looks like it might have some air. Maybe it has the looks of something broke.
Look at the Fox box top of your screen. See those drivers highlighted in red. We'll monitor their progress in regard to the Dash for Cash. And it continues to be pulled and tipped. But on that last restart, Sadler and Byron were trying to make something happen. And Justin Allgaier's made his way into the top 10 as well.
I think some of this is to do with just you're restarting on old tires. You got to get those things as clean as you can because this rubber on this racetrack, it picks up under caution. I think it's just really challenging to restart on old tires around a bunch of cars. You're slipping and sliding.
Let me ask you this, Adam, Joey, any thought of maybe pitting here if you're not up in the front of the field? Maybe take your 4 tires now and then stay out at the end of stage 1? Roll the dice?
I don't know. I'm a driver, not a crew chief. Every time I think I know the right call, Todd has proven me wrong, so I just keep my mouth shut when it comes to calling a race.
Well, the pits are open, and none of our leaders are taking the opportunity to pit, so it looks like most of the field will stay out. I just think if I do the math, you can make it close to 80 laps on a tank of fuel, so we'll see.
Kyle Larson's led every lap today. They got to feel good, huh, Matt?
The only frustration a 42 team has had, Kyle keeps saying, we start to gap ourselves back to Blaney, and then a caution comes out. Now, a couple cautions ago, you heard a great description by Derek Nealon, Larson's spotter, about what the car looks like from the spotter stand from inside. Larson told Mike Shiplett, simply if he was in his cup car, and Joey touched on this before, they don't have the track bar adjuster inside the car, so they'll have to do that when they finally hit pit road. He said, I would make an adjustment, probably go down 2 to 3 tenths to try to tighten up this 42.
And that's what the spotter's role is these days. It's not just calling the race and where cars are. It's as much that as it is to be able to give the driver the information he needs about who's fast and who's not, and all this stuff for the crew chief as well.
What are you looking at here, Michael?
Check it out. Talk about how hard these guys are driving. About 130-mile-an-hour power slide.
A little sideways Blaney there. That's Blaney could drive a loose car, I'll tell you that much. I see that all the time.
How edgy is it today for last week's winner, Chris?
Well, it's pretty edgy right now. He was talking about that once we got back under yellow here. He said with all these different cycles of heating up the tires, cooling them off, heating up again, he said these restarts are getting really challenging, especially down in 1 and 2. He said that back end is just jumping out from underneath me.
We're going to have a sprint to the finish of stage 1. Going to be less than 15 laps to go. We'll get the restart when we return to Dover. Kyle Larson, the race leader for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Dover. He's right behind the 2017 Toyota Camry XSE pace car that pulls to pit road. Restarting on the front row with Larson, Ryan Blaney, Suarez, and Jones right behind him in row 2.
Jones been a push and pull on every one of these restarts, hasn't he?
And Tift has been great, and there goes William Byron around the outside.
Yeah, Suarez backed up there. Issues. Look at that, stocking up the field.
It almost looks like he's got something wrong.
Is that left rear flat?
He's got a problem.
That's a flat tire. He just needs to try to get to pit road.
And then it's hard to get out of the way, too, and everyone's trying to get by in.
The spotters are screaming. You got one struggling.
If you're poor Ty Dillon behind him, he's been trying to get around him and has lost so much track position, just stuck behind the 18.
On board here with Brandon Jones. Brought out our second caution of the day, trying to avoid being a part of another.
Looked like the right rear was low on that 18 car. Done a nice job so far of getting out of the way.
Last right rear down, bud. One outside. Yeah, coming through, guys. Okay, 10-4.
It was down when they restarted, Joey.
Yeah, it must have been. As soon as he went into the corner, he was in trouble. And that just could be rolling around. There could be debris on the racetrack after a few cautions, and you don't come down pit road to give new tires on it. You possibly could have run something over. and have a slow leak.
10 laps to go in the stage, and here comes Suarez headed to you, Matt.
And you heard his spotter, Chris Osborne, ask him, did he have a tire going down? And he replied to Crazy, yes. Making his way down pit road. Now the car was on the tight side earlier in the run, but then it started swinging to the free side. He was just trying to hang on, trying to get down. We're going to take a look at that right rear as it comes off. Right side tires on the 18.
And I tell you, making a green flag pit stop here is almost a death sentence. It is so hard to stay somewhat close to the leaders because you're going slow down pit road. It's a long pit road, and the cars on the racetrack are going so fast that it's going to put them down a couple laps here.
This big here, Brennan Poole inside of Matt Tiff. Poole now in the 5th position and claims that second transfer spot in the Dash for Cash in stage 1 with 8 laps to go. And it looks like Tiff might have a problem. He's dropping back after a strong start to this race.
Yeah, it almost looks like, I mean, he's slowing down a lot as well. It looks like he's making the dirt to pit road as well.
Next guy around him, how about Daniel Hemrick in the 21?
Flat tire, rubber coming apart.
Maybe the tire wasn't flat. Maybe it's just an issue with losing some tread off that tire. We haven't seen any reason to think there would be tire issues here at Dover this weekend.
7 laps to go.
What makes you wonder about Eric Jones? That's the only other Gibbs car that hasn't had a problem with tires here the last few laps. And these set of tires, they qualified on these earlier. And that's some really hard laps on these tires and all these restarts as well. I guess they're wearing pretty quick.
Suarez went 2 laps down, despite the fact he only changed 2 tires. Tiff probably going to do the same. He lost a lap a moment ago when the leaders came by. He's on pit road now. And more than likely going to go 2 laps down. He will.
And you want to push it too. You got 6 laps to go. You want to just limp it around because the penalty of coming down pit road is so big, but the penalty of crashing your car is a lot larger.
What's the story with these tires, Matt?
Took quite a while to find the issue for Suarez's right rear. The team and Goodyear looked it over right where the center section meets the sidewall, right there on the shoulder. There's a small little hole. That was his issue. Looks like possibly a pop rivet caused the damage.
And a battle for the lead with 4 laps to go in the stage. Maybe an issue for Kyle Larson out front.
I think my right front might be coming apart. Before we're seeing a couple that if you think it is, bring it to us. Just back her down.
You see Ryan Blaney, he's going to try to take advantage of that. He knows he only got 4 laps to go to get some stage points for that Fitzgerald Mustang. And, you know, that's a big deal for that Owners' Championship right here, these 2 cars.
And just think, that wasn't a tire issue. It was a cut tire, but there wasn't a tire coming apart for the 18 of Suarez. So it's just something they ran over.
3 laps to go.
Looks like someone just grooved the tire really bad.
2 laps to go, and we'll close pit road here.
These guys are wanting to get to pit road, figure out what's going on.
And we're going to have a good race here for the next couple laps. Get by this lap car and see what Blaney can do at Larson.
Front 2, Larson and Blaney. Then it's Eric Jones, 4th and 5th. Byron and Poole eligible now for the Dash for Cash if they can hang on. One lap to go, stage 1.
Blaney's going to try to get a big run off the top here.
Looks like it worked, Joey.
He's going to get to him. Oh! He's going to try to free him up here and make it happen, which he might.
Kyle Larson led every lap of the opening stage. The last one, yeah, he hangs on.
Oh.
Blaney was 2nd. Eric Jones 3rd. William Byron, Brennan Poole finish 4th and 5th, and they will make themselves eligible for the Dash for Cash. Elliott Sadler 6th, Justin Allgaier, Darrell Wallace Jr., Daniel Hemrick, and Ryan Reed, the top 10. Stage 1 in the books for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Dover International Speedway. These two drivers moving on to the final stage, eligible for the Dash for Cash, William Byron and Brennan Poole. We get going here in Stage 2. We'll figure out who will join them to go for the $100,000. They were your top point scorers when you look at series regulars in that opening stage. Elliott Sadler came in with a regular season point lead. He was 6th. Allgaier getting points. Everybody coming to pit road here and going to be in front of Jamie Little.
Brennan Poole, the Ganassi cars are hooked up. His car's been so good, only a 1 tight on exit, good everywhere else. An air pressure adjustment is in 4 tires. Chris?
Strong run for William Byron. This team hasn't been perfect on pit lane since California earlier this year, so he's looking for some good stuff today. Likes the balance of his car. Just ahead, Ryan Blaney almost getting the win in this stage. Says he's on the splitter early in the run, wants that car tightened up a bit. Matt?
A spiral overlay issue in the 19 of Matt Tipp, looking at the right front coming off of Kyle Larson's 42. Similar issues on that right front. Down on the track bar on the 42 to try to tighten him up some.
Looks like a bit of trouble there for the 20 car. Barrett Jones on that stop is going to lose a few spots.
Kyle Larson wins the race off pit road. Top 2 hold serve. William Byron up 1 and Justin Allgaier +3. Good effort for them in the early going.
Good pit stop for William Byron. Let's check in with him. Hey, William Byron, it's Michael Waltrip up in the Fox booth. Do you hear me, bud?
Yeah, man, I got you.
I'm just curious, what's a teenager going to do with $100 grand? You just qualified for the Dash for Cash. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, it feels good. It's good for our race team to run this well, so really excited about that. Got a good race car underneath us. I think we can go for more than just $100 grand, so looking forward to the rest of this race.
Well, it's been fun to watch. Hang in there. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
There you see the stage points from stage number 1. And I think about $100,000 for William Byron. That'd buy a lot of tuition at Liberty University, wouldn't it?
Make his daddy happy, wouldn't it?
Yes. Kyle Larson was talking about potential tire issues as we closed on the end of that opening stage. You see it there. That'll concern you, huh?
What's that feel like?
That's not a good feeling at all. Austin Dillon stayed out. There's a lot of extra motivation to win the Dash for Cash.
Number one is really cool to have that big checker hanging on your wall. But on the other side of it, it helps these teams really make our race cars better and make our programs better.
Not only is that another $100,000 in RCR's pocket, but it's also a playoff berth situation for us where we lock ourselves in automatically.
And if we're in position to win the Dash for Cash at the end, then we'll lay it all on the line to try to make it happen.
A lot on the line for these series regulars here today. All right, with this caution, the 18 of Daniel Suarez, 19 of Matt Tipp took the wave around after they had those tire issues. So they will restart one lap down. Free pass went to Garrett Smithley. The 2, as Joey said, Austin Dillon had pitted after he had that crash. He stays out and is the race leader as we go green once again. Stage 2 is underway.
And this is going to be interesting to watch Austin get through this. He's got a crash car and about 20-something laps on his tires here. So this will be kind of an interesting restart.
Going to stack up that outside line, Joey. As you can see, Austin isn't able to go, and that's hurting William Byron.
But Austin had to stay out here. He used a set of tires there when they fixed their car. That puts him a set behind everybody. So for him to have something to race with at the end, he's got to kind of lick his wounds right here.
Eric Jones lost a number of positions on pit road, restarted 10th. He is now 7th and racing to the outside of Daniel Hemrick. The 21 started at the back. Unapproved changes after qualifying, but he worked his way into the top 10 at the end of stage 1 and scored some points there. That was big. What about Eric Jones, Chris?
Adam, you mentioned the 6 spots that he lost on pit lane. I just checked with his crew chief, Chris Gabehart, and he said our front tire changer, he was just slow. No issues there. We were just slow on the stop.
See if he can come back here like Ryan Sieg, who brought out our 2nd caution of the day, 39 back up to 12. What do you have for us, Matt?
Well, Adam, you saw the tire that came off Kyle Larson's car during that pit stop. You can see the significant wear. A number of people are just talking about how as the track rubbers in, people start moving up more and more to the part of the track that really isn't as rubbered in, so you're starting to see some higher wear. They also told Kyle Larson that the set that came off was an older date code. The set that went on, a little bit newer. They also said, by the way, don't worry, we're seeing it at a number of different cars up and down pit road, including the 22 of Blaney.
And those are, as a reminder, the tires that these guys qualified on. A fresh set of stickers here. We would hope there's no issue on this run. What about Brennan Poole, eligible for the Dash for Cash? What are they saying, Jamie?
And he had said he was only a 1 tight, so no major balance issues, but this is the right front from the 48. There's actual boarding showing right here. Matt McCall, the crew chief for Jamie McMurray on the Cup side, was just down here right away, checking things out, talking to the team. And Joey Logano, you're racing tomorrow. This is the same exact tire you guys are running. Any concerns there as you see this?
Well, thanks for reminding me. I hope not. You know, I think a lot of it, like we were talking about, qualifying is very, very hard on these tires. And I think as there's every caution is picking up that rubber, it's more time on a green racetrack after every one of these restarts. And I think that's just wearing the tire out a lot more. If we have a long green flag run, it'll be really interesting to see the difference in the tires, if they're better or not.
How concerned are the crew chiefs, Larry?
Well, I think very concerned, Adam, because remember, this is a 1-mile racetrack, but you spend 2/3 of your time in the corner. And whenever I see cording on the inside of the right front, one of the things that I question is the team being a little aggressive with that negative camber in that right front, because the more you can lay that right front in, negative camber, it helps the car to turn. So we want to make sure to see if we see a trend or a pattern here.
You said the word aggressive. Look at the battle for the lead.
We're on the apron here.
Blaney trying to run down Larson, and we get our 6th caution of the day. It's for Spencer Gallagher. Not been a good weekend for the driver out of Las Vegas. Wrecked yesterday in our opening practice. Had to go to a backup car and done early as he sits on the apron.
I wonder if that looks like maybe an electrical fire in the car. He was really quick to jump out of there, and those electrical fires, the fumes are just overwhelming.
This worked really good for Daniel Suarez, who was 2 laps down after the tire issue. Took the wave around at the end of stage 1. He's the first car 1 lap down, so he now will get the free pass and get back on the lead lap. That's really cool. So today we're in Dover. Next weekend we're heading up to Pocono. Michael and I going to step aside, make history. It's drivers only from the tricky triangle.
I'm really looking forward to the all-driver broadcast at Pocono.
It's definitely a different perspective.
Usually they send a cute pit reporter down.
I feel like I should be the best with Jamie Little coaching me.
You send a guy like Ricky down or something, them guys ain't gonna want to talk much.
Basically, as long as I don't say boom goes the dynamite at any point in time, it will be okay.
I don't think there would be anything wrong with saying boom goes the dynamite.
I think
it's
great.
That
yeah,
in?
Boom goes the dynamite. I mean, that's all right. I think we can work that in today.
I just believe it's going to be one of the most fun broadcasts I've ever had the privilege to watch. You guys love what you do. You're students of the broadcast game. You understand how important TV is to your racing careers, and I know you're going to do a lot of hard work getting ready for this event.
It's going to be fun, but it's also going to be really funny for sure.
You're going to be in the booth with Clint Boyer and Kevin Harvick. Now, Kevin takes this serious, right? But Boyer, he's a little bit of a loose cannon. Michael and I are always nervous when he joins us. What are your thoughts on being
like
partnered with Clint?
and Michael might kind of be like the replacement for, I don't know. Like, I think that was like your spot. Yeah, I feel like that was a good switch out there. And Kevin's done a good job. He's up here in the booth with us right now, and he's watching and learning right now. Yeah, so he's got Adam's job. He's got the. I feel like that's the toughest part.
Oh, definitely.
You got so many things going on in your ears, and you're trying to count with the countdown, going to commercial breaks and things like that. It's very challenging.
Just to tell you what Boyer thinks about what I do, he said, Adam, I respect and I admire everything you do. Michael, anybody can do what you do. So Boyer's just going to move in and wing it, I think.
So we've established who is going to be in the booth. In the Hollywood Hotel, Denny Hamlin, Danica Patrick, Coach Spake, Coach McReynolds. Take it away.
That's right. We have Danica up here right now. She's sitting and watching us do some highlights, so we're going to try not to mess it up. There she is. All right, so let's get to the highlights. Yellow has been a familiar theme here at Dover so far. And this is how it's gone down. It started early, lap 6. Brendan gone a little out of control. Then Sieg goes around, and Sieg with the save.
Yeah, but he was the victim there for sure. And then on lap 27, Brandon Jones in the 33 car gets loose. Ryan Reed takes there off his spoiler. Brandon Jones, a tough start to 2017. Damage right here, so another rough race for Brandon Jones.
Kyle Larson, who led most of stage 1. It was a drag race to the finish of stage 1 as he and Blaney went for it. William Byron and Poole, they are the transfer drivers racing for the Dash for Cash.
Yeah, Kyle Larson was complaining about possibly something going on with the tires, so he just barely won that first stage.
Adam, it's all yours.
Shannon, I think it's good you're wearing that yellow jacket today because we've had a lot of yellow. And as we said earlier, Kevin Harvick with us in the booth doing his homework. So here we go. Hand him a piece of paper and a pen. Write something down, would you?
Some notes
there
going
you go.
for us.
Yeah. There you go. You need your glasses. You're going to be fine next week. About ready for the restart here. Kyle Larson leading. He's led 74 of our 78 laps. Ryan Blaney, Justin Allgaier, Elliott Sadler, and William Byron, our top 5 as we get the forward performance track facts here at Dover. 5 season sweeps at Dover in the last 7 seasons. I think 2 of those belong to you, right?
Got 2 of them.
2. 1 year with Gibbs, 1 year with Team Penske. You spread the love. In the last 14 Dover races, 1 from a top 8 starting position. Track position always important. As we've said, it's so tough to pass here at the Monster Mile.
And we've watched some guys gain some serious track position. Adam, you talked about Hemrick. Started in the back. He's in the top 10. Darrell Wallace up to 8th. And Elliott Sadler up to the top 5 along with Justin Allgaier. These are guys that have made some serious progress.
And Eric Jones on the last restart, I was watching him. He was 3 wide up top, passing cars. Got a couple more before the caution when it started green flagging. So I think you know, he's definitely got speed. He's going to get himself back up there. And then you also saw a great race for the lead between Larson and Blaney there. It was heating up for sure.
Didn't have a junior motorsports car finish inside the top 10 last week. 3 of their 4 going to restart in the top 5 here. William Byron, Brennan Poole already locked into the Dash for Cash for our final stage. Transfer spots here in stage 2 belong to Allgaier and Sadler. Larson and Blaney up front as we're in the Geico restart zone.
Sadler had a great start there.
He was set on go, wasn't he?
He was going to try to get what he can through turns 1 and 2 here. Looks like Blaney's going to be able to clear him and come on up.
But he's able to hold off Allgaier. So Sadler will go third. Those two in the transfer positions.
We're already less than 40 laps to go in stage 2. You click them off so fast at Dover.
This is not a slow racetrack. Believe me, things happen very, very quick. You see the crashes happen quick, but just every lap comes by. It's like Bristol, but twice the size and twice the speed.
Spencer Gallagher brought out that last caution, did go to the care center. He has been released. Eric Jones continuing his climb inside the top 5. Had the issue on the restart after running 3rd or 4th all day long. Was 10th when the green flag went back in the air. Already back in the top 5.
Company for Jones. That's Bubba Wallace. He got a big run off turn 2. Snuck to the inside of Jones. Is trying to take that spot away.
You know, despite the fact that Darrell Wallace Jr. hasn't shown a lot of speed in practice or qualifying, it seems to me, Chris, the confidence has never wavered.
Yeah, Adam, I talked to him about that right before the race because he said this is one of his favorite racetracks. He said the balance hasn't been the problem this weekend. We just haven't had outright speed in the car. He said if we can have some long runs, I'm going to have a top 10 car. Well, he's already well within the top 10, and we haven't had any long runs.
And this is one of those racetracks that if you get the balance right in practice, even if you don't have much speed, this track is just going to get so greasy that if you have a good handling car, it'll overcome the speed that you don't have sometimes in practice.
And that's what I'm seeing out of Bubba. He's able to just drive low on the track, keep the nose down. The guys he's racing against, including Eric Jones, are slipping up in the turn, and he's able to keep pinned to the bottom, just like you're watching Ryan Blaney. Look at the progress Blaney's making on Larson there. Getting that nose pointed on the bottom is key.
Before that last caution, I thought Blaney was going to get Larson. Caution came out, but here we are, green once again. The 22 starting to flex its muscles, and right side you see William Byron trying to hold off Brennan Poole. Justin Allgaier sliding up out of the groove.
Looked just like Austin Dillon, just on the high side of 4, and the thing got loose.
Bubba Wallace went by. That was a dash for cash transfer position. So Darrell Wallace would move on now, not Justin Allgaier, Matt.
And the biggest issue for the 7 of Allgaier, he just cannot run the bottom. The car way too free when he tries to run down there. He migrates down, up, just searching around to see if he can find a better place for that 7.
Have to bounce back here. Justin Allgaier, every time we've had a dash for cash race this year, has been eligible. Meanwhile, left of your screen, Kyle Larson has led every green flag lap today. No more. Ryan Blaney inside of him off of turn 4. New leader is the double deuce.
And you just see that Larson, that 42, he's loose. And I think Blaney saw that, took advantage of that situation by packing air onto that spoiler and going right back by.
How about the quiet success of our regular season point leader, Elliott Sadler, Jamie?
I talked to him right before he got in the car, and he said, we have a good piece this weekend. They had a good balance yesterday in practice. As you guys mentioned how important that is. Overdrove it round 1 at qualifying, but now the car is good. He fought his way from 9th. All they did was make an air pressure adjustment on that first stop.
He's going to have a chance to get Kyle Larson here. Those two up front not driving away from Elliott Sadler.
No, the last time by, Elliott Sadler was a tick faster than those guys, but Bubba Wallace was even faster than the 3 of them. So there's a lot of great stories and a lot of fast cars, including the 6 of Wallace.
And Darrell's done a great job at just being consistent, not overdriving his car. When he gets in race situations, he's just patient and waiting for the opportunity to strike and takes it.
And haven't you seen that out of Darrell Wallace Jr. this year? Just a maturity that we didn't see a year ago. When things don't go right, he's there to cheerlead, help his team, build on something, and he's doing a great job again today.
So much time out front today for Kyle Larson, who started on the pole running 2nd. Now, Matt, what's their thought process?
Lost that lead on lap 88, and before that pit stop, when they made the adjustment with the track bar to try to tighten up the 42 car, now the car has taken a huge swing, really on the tight side as the caution comes out. Basically, I feel like it's more of the old dated tire code that was on the set that came off. They're going to try to free him up the next time on pit road.
Caution for the 01 of Harrison Rhodes. It's our 7th caution of the day. You look at the board, first car 1 lap down at the time of caution. the 19 of Matt Tifft. Great effort by both the 18 and 19 today of managing their race with early tire problems, green flag pit stops, and now once he gets the free pass, both will be back on the lead lap.
An update on Austin Dillon. He's fallen back to the 19th position after starting up front with those used tires.
His cautions are kind of saving him a little bit.
Over halfway home in stage 2, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Elliott Sadler, Darrell Wallace Jr., and Eric Jones, your top 5 here at the Monster Mile.
Start revving your engines because the Monster Energy Series rolls into Dover International Speedway. Which driver will come up victorious at the Monster Mile? Defending champ Matt Kenseth or one of the young guns? Find out tomorrow. Coverage starts at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on FS1.
Tomorrow we're going to cap off a big NASCAR weekend here in Dover, Delaware. Yesterday evening, Camping World Truck Series live on FS1. Congratulations to defending champ Johnny Sauter, who got his first win of 2017. Today it's round 11 for the NASCAR XFINITY Series. Ryan Blaney out front, and Kyle Busch looking for his first win of the year. We'll start on the pole tomorrow. Our coverage with race day begins 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. We're 6 laps short of halfway overall, and William Byron, the rookie, running in the 7th position and dash for cash eligible.
Doing a good job today, man. We'll get some of these brakes to go our way. Get the car a little bit better for you. We'll be where we need to be next stop. Yeah, man. 10-4. We just need a couple good restarts.
You remember he was stuck behind Austin Dillon on that previous restart. Lost a lot of track position up in the top 5 prior to that. So it's all about getting the right brake at the right time. And William feels like they're due a couple.
Yeah, sometimes you're due, and you don't get them either, though. It just happens, and you know, anytime you see like Austin was starting up there, which he had to do, it's not his fault, but you know that whole field's gonna get stacked up when you have a car with older tires and some damage. That you just hope you can get around him quick and try to get some room around him. But it's sometimes it's by chance.
Eric Jones has enjoyed a successful weekend. He'll restart 5th.
But now hard on the throttle when the car goes to compress again, it's wanting to snap loose a little bit while you're still tight, correct? Feels like when you load a bump stop up and then it just spikes the load number, like if you're at Winchester or something and you don't have enough bump in it and it spikes and it just snaps loose. go flying.
Winchester.
You ever race there?
I have not been to Winchester.
In Indiana? I know Eric's done a lot there in a late model.
Does that mean his crew chief knows what it's like to drive at Winchester, understands exactly? He's probably had those conversations
It
before.
must have had it, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of Indiana connections there. Chris Gabehart from Louisville, Kentucky, just south of the border there from Indiana, went to Purdue University. So both these guys have spent some time on the short tracks in Indiana.
And that's how Dover, this racetrack, is. It's almost like there's two separate turns within each turn. You have a big landing event when you go into turn one, and your car sometimes gets tight, sometimes it gets loose depending on your setup. And then you kind of go through the center of the turn, and you get to the I call it the second turn. It's kind of like the 2/3 part of the corner. And that's when you got to reset and try to get through that part, because the corner exits are so tight. You can't just let it free up off the corner. You have to keep a lot of wheel in it, and you got to keep it as low as you can. And that's where you got to have that second turn, like Eric was talking about, is trying to keep that thing rotating on the bottom.
And it's interesting, right? Dover's the only place that I can think of where you might go in the corner, run wide open or near it through the middle, and then have to roll out again and make the second turn that you're talking about.
Reset for the second turn. And you see people drive it differently. You see some drivers will run it right on the bottom, and they'll charge that center and have to reset. And you see some drivers drive in really hard and try to use it as one turn, and they'll drive in hard and go up the racetrack 2-3 lanes, get it rotated, and then come back down the hill with this big run. And we've seen Blaney was trying to do something similar to that to try to pass the 42 earlier. So it is a tool a driver can use to try to make their car handle better, or at least find some speed out of it when you're around other cars and try to get some air on it. So having a car that can move around when you come to a racetrack like this is the only way you're going to be able to pass somebody.
Saw Matt Tiff going around getting the free pass. He will restart 30th, but more importantly, will be back on the lead lap. And when we go green, it'll be Blaney and Larson out front for the restart.
You know, one of the most important parts here at Dover is the restarts. Getting out in clean air is so important.
Especially the shorter the racetrack, the more important it is to get a good restart, get yourself out front.
Guys are always trying to like play tricks and try to get ahead and make some moves.
As you take off on the restart, you usually experience a lot more tire spin if you haven't done a good job keeping your tires clean. And a guy who doesn't spin the tires gets a good launch and ultimately has the best track position.
So we've talked about the importance of track position, but I think about the restart zone here and its location in the corner. What challenges does that create, and how unique is that?
It's tough because you're in the corner. There's a lot of banking right there, you know, and if you're on the bottom, you're actually kind of going uphill. So that's why you see the bottom lane actually have a hard time getting through, or at least getting the throttle down and trying to keep up with that outside lane. It's a real big challenge here. But I'll tell you, that restart game, you hear some of them talk about, it's evolving constantly. It's always changing. As soon as you finally get something up on somebody, they figure it out, and then they're gonna use your same trick that you used on them on you. So it just happens quick.
And Blaney and Larson are going to know each other's every trick after this day's over. Every restart, they've been right up there playing the games, trying to mix it up just enough to where they can try to grab an advantage.
You don't want to do the same thing twice. And this will be the first restart. It's flipped around the other way, as Ryan Blaney as the leader and Larson in second. So this will be interesting to see what games are played here.
Plenty of experience on restarts today, because this is our 7th caution, going to get our 7th restart. When the pace car pulls to pit road, complete 39 of 60 laps in stage 2. Blaney in the outside lane as we hit the Geico restart zone.
Blaney might want to do the same thing next time.
I don't think Larson was close enough to figure out what he did, so that might work.
Hey, that Ford behind him is fast as well. Darrell Wallace Jr. up to second in the running order. Best spot of the weekend.
Remember Bubba battling for the lead at Charlotte in our last race, actually grabbed the lead away from Blaney for a bit.
This is deja vu from last week at Charlotte. Got to report Eric Jones is off the pace.
Got a little issue on the front straightaway. Is that?
His teammates have already made unscheduled pit stops today with tire issues. First it was Daniel Suarez, then Matt Tift, and here is the 20 car.
Is the motor running or not? No, I'm pretty sure it blew up.
Engine problem for Eric Jones, defending race winner. back and see what happened on the restart. As things have settled down at the front, Blaney leading Darrell Wallace Jr. Larson is third. Here's the replay.
He was maybe trying to get up out of the way, Joey.
Yeah, I think it looks like to me it started blowing up through the middle of the corner, and when everyone's right behind you and expecting you to be wide open, and he's not, they're going to run up all over you really quick. And it always makes you wonder after a restart and the thing blows up, what may have happened on the restarts, or you know, whether it's a missed gear or you know, an over rev of some sort going through the gearbox. Who knows? You know, or it could just be by chance. So it makes you wonder after a restart the whole time.
17 laps to go in our second stage. Updating the dash for Cash. We know that William Byron has advanced, and so has Brennan Poole. They're already eligible. Top runners here in our second stage: Darrell Wallace Jr., Elliott Sadler. But Sadler's got his teammate Justin Allgaier right behind him. That would be for the final transfer spot. And here's a battle for position. Hemrick and Reed going at it for ninth. And Blake Cook is right there trying to get in the top 10. He's fought that car all weekend at the 11, doing a real good job here in our 200-mile.
Yeah, the bottom's opened up for him there. He's going to be able to drive inside of Reed. Can he finish the pass down here in 3 and 4?
Man, I cringe every time I see that.
Look who's behind him. Daniel Suarez. Tire problem 2 laps down. Great strategy, and now they find themselves knocking on the door of the top 10.
Daniel's definitely got a fast car to be able to you know, come back so far of what he's done. So right now he's probably a little cautious watching this race in front of him, trying to pick which lane should I go, because he's also got to hold off the 00 Cole Custer.
Custer's been kind of quiet today, Michael.
Yeah, it's surprising. We thought he had a really fast car during practice yesterday and just hasn't been able to move forward at all. I've watched Cole in the corners. He's moved up the track. He's been low, so he's giving it everything he's got, just not getting much out of it today.
And that's the advantage. You saw those 4 cars racing right there. The advantage of being the last one there is that you got nothing to lose, so you might as well move around the racetrack everywhere. All these other guys, they actually have a spot they can lose by trying to pass a car, so you got to be smart with your moves when you have someone behind you.
Look at Reed in the 10th position. I go back to last week at Charlotte. He ran right around 9th, 10th, 11th all day long, hit the wall late and was unable to finish inside the top 10. You know he wants to get it today here at Dover. Suarez goes around Blake Cook to the inside. We'll see what he can do with Ryan Reed.
I say he disposes of him quite quickly. That 18 car is strong. He can cut it to the bottom. And there he goes.
Quite a comeback for Daniel Suarez. Watch Ryan Reed here. Red and white 16.
Gets a little bit sideways, and that's what we've seen off turn 4. Guys that just have their cars jump out from underneath of them. Remember, it happened to the veteran Austin Dillon earlier in the race.
And that's where that car we talked about, yeah, second turn, that's right where it's at. And the car goes through a recompression, it gets deeper, and then it falls out of the racetrack really quick when the banking goes away by the time you get to the straightaway.
The guy that won here last year, Eric Jones, done today, Jamie.
Well, he just pulled the hood pins himself and lifted up the hood and nodded your head. At what point, Eric, did you realize something was amiss?
Well, getting into 3, it started vibrating really bad, and I had oil pressure and everything was fine. And then coming off of 4, it just blew up completely. It looked like the oil pump belt was shredded right off it. So I guess it just locked up. It's the first motor failure I've ever had with JGR or anybody, so it's unfortunate. You know, we didn't have the best car today, but I think the Research Camry could have got up and ran in the top 3 with a few more adjustments. So it's unfortunate, but can't do anything about it.
All right, Eric Jones will have the headset and the microphone next week as he's one of our pit reporters.
Look forward to seeing him on the pit lane at Pocono. And as you guys were talking, we get our 8th caution of the day.
That's an amazing stat for Eric Jones, and he's never blown one up.
How about that?
That's incredible.
Kids these days.
We think the debris is a belt off of the 20 who had the engine problem. Here's what's interesting to me. Caution comes out, Michael, with 8 laps to go in the stage. First, let's watch the 20 car Eric Jones here, see if we can pick up this debris.
Yeah, the engine's locking up already. You can see the smoke. That's when the engine was about done, and that will spit an oil pump belt off.
Right off.
in 2 seconds.
Good call by our folks in the truck, and great effort by the camera people that picked up on that.
It's a stretch from here on fuel, big stretch, and we get better mileage in both, so most of them can't make it.
That's Greg Irwin. His thought process is pit now, stay out at the end of the stage, and we'll be in business, right?
We're having some takers on that too, Adam. We knew we would. We thought if there's a caution around lap 110, we would see the race, the field get mixed up. Not a lot of guys have elected to come to pit road, but we have some.
Blaney stayed out. Here comes Ty Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Cole Custer, Brandon Jones, Matt Tiff playing this game as well. Here they are, Matt.
It just seems like the more we go, especially putting a lot of those cycles on the tires with a rash of cautions, we're seeing some guys complaining about the car being on the free side more and more as the run goes. The 18 of Suarez, he said this feels like he's on top of the racetrack. Once an air pressure change on the 18, his teammate, the 19 of Matt Tiff, he said his car just gets tighter and tighter as he just pushes through that rubber on the racetrack.
How much money would you have bet me if I said Daniel Suarez will be leading this race when we start the final stage, Michael?
There would have to be a lot of strategy that went into it, but we knew that was going to be a possibility. And I will tell you this too, Adam. You remember all those restarts with Blaney and Larson on the front row? It isn't going to look anything like that when we start our final stage. These guys have pulled the strategy card, and there will be a different look to the front of the field.
It's definitely going to change up the field. But what I'm thinking, there's 7 laps to go here. And you got Darrell Wallace and Ryan Blaney up there. I know they're friends, but Darrell's going to want these points in the stage win for sure.
Wouldn't you want to beat your friends worse than you would your enemy? Make it more fun, right?
We're going to find out.
It'd be his first playoff point of the year. Larry, I go back to the strategy call. Final stage is 80 laps. They pitted with 7 to go here in stage 2. With the caution laps at the end of this stage, everybody should be okay, right?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think you can make it from here on fuel, especially knowing that you're going to have those caution laps once stage 2 ends. And I just think the guys that pitted, they felt like they were not high enough to even come close to winning stage 2. And they're looking more at the overall picture, and that's trying to win this race, because I still think track position will be king at the end.
Going to restart this thing with 5 laps to go in our second stage.
Yeah, track position is always king, that's for sure. If you can get some clean air on that car and get to the lead, and I think Daniel Suarez, after this restart here, when those cars cycle to the front only with 5 or 6 laps on their tires, they're going to be in pretty good shape, and it's going to be tough for the leaders that you see right now to get back to them and retake the lead.
Transfer spots for the Dash for Cash from stage 2 right now belong to Darrell Wallace Jr., Elliott Sadler. But Sadler's got his teammate Justin Allgaier right behind him in the 7. Keep an eye on that car.
Bubba's in attack mode. He's right on the back of his friend Blaney.
Is there a little bit of a bump and run there? Loosened him up?
Maybe.
Darrell Wallace Jr. trying to get the lead. He's got it.
Wow.
Now he just
4 laps to go on the stage.
What a move.
Needs to run 4 perfect laps.
Started 18th and has the lead just over 100 laps in, and he's trying to hang on, get a playoff point, a stage win, and make himself eligible for the $100,000.
Oh, great corner by Bubba. Look at that. Really stretching it out off 4.
He's got that clean air. He had a fast car. We can see that. But when he got that clean air, that's a game changer.
I know it's early to be talking about this, but 13 drivers have picked up their first career victory in Dover.
And Larry McReynolds took the veterans to win today down in the pre-race show, and I took a guy that hadn't won before. Bubba could be that guy.
This for 5th. Kyle Larson, William Byron. 2 laps to go in the stage. We close pit road as we always do with a couple of laps remaining in stage 1 and stage 2. Darrell Wallace Jr. still out front. Sadler is pulled away from Justin Allgaier, and unless something crazy happens, he should also move on and run for the cash later today. Final lap, stage 2.
This race isn't over yet, by the way.
Yeah, well, we remember how stage 1 ended, right? Blaney's not going away.
Blaney might try to free him up the same way the 6 freed him up. Oh, you see it get really loose right there.
Wasn't from the lack of trying, was it?
Nope, wasn't from a lack of effort.
Congratulations, Darrell Wallace Jr., stage 2 winner here at Dover. A playoff point for him. Ryan Blaney was second. Elliott Sadler was third. It's Bubba and Sadler who advanced to run for the Dash for Cash. Justin Allgaier was fourth. He got some points. Kyle Larson fifth. The rest of the top 10, William Byron, Daniel Hemrick, Brennan Poole, Blake Cook, and J.J. Yaley. That was a lot of fun. Two of three stages complete here at Dover for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Been a fun afternoon on FS1. First stage win of 2017 for Darrell Wallace Jr. He's the race leader. Blaney, Sadler, Allgaier, and Larson behind him. 10 cars came to pit road on our last caution. They will stay out here. Lots of strategy, Jamie.
That's right. And Elliott Sadler told me if they could qualify for Dash for Cash, he feels like they could take home that $100,000. Saying that run just a little arrow tight, not much they can do about it. Car is good otherwise. A 4-tire stop here. Chris?
Runs through the field for Bubba Wallace, saying that car gets progressively tighter as the run goes on, wanting to loosen up the exit. Ryan Blaney, that car in the last stop, a little bit too loose, still wanting to go that direction. Tighten up that car on entry. Matt.
And the 7 of Justin Allgaier, he says he's just not really sure what to do to this car. Significant chassis adjustment, so it just gets looser and looser, just a complete understatement. Meanwhile, the 42 also of Larson, a significant track bar adjustment, doubled up what they did on the previous stop.
And Matt, a great job for the 16. Remember last week at Charlotte, came in running 4th late with 40 to go, lost 7 positions. He got frustrated, finished outside the top 20. Today, come in leading, and they win the battle off the pit lane. So here are the 4 drivers that will run for the cash. William Byron, Brennan Poole from stage 1, Darrell Wallace Jr., Elliott Sadler from stage 2. Let's hear from Bubba, who's got to be feeling good.
Sure, Bubba, it's Logano up here in the booth again. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's up?
I couldn't help but notice you must have learned a lot following me around this racetrack and used some good moves there. Good job.
Yeah, that was all I knew. Appreciate it. Good day for us so far. You know, just making the most of it. Really good stop there on my guys.
We'll see how many stayed out here, but I'm really proud of the effort we made on this Car 3 Mustang. So having some fun. I love this place. It's showing a little bit. Just got to keep the emotions in check and get straight flag.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your first stage win. That's a big deal, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see you guys work through the field with a lot of fast cars up in the lead and some that they're towards the back with some tires. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. You can text me what you really want to say to me after the race.
10-4. Ryan Reed and 9 others stayed out. They had pitted at lap 113, making that strategy call. They've got 5 or 6 green flag laps on their tires. Bubba Wallace going to restart 11th. Should be good. The Roush Fenway organization has 6 wins at Dover in the Xfinity Series. The last one courtesy of Chris Buescher, who on a fuel mileage run in the 60 got into his teammate, the 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr., and drove on to victory. A bit of controversy on that Saturday afternoon. Darrell Wallace Jr. hoping for a little bounce back today. Won stage 2, going to restart 11th. Top 10 stayed out, and it's his teammate, ironically enough, Ryan Reed, who will have the race lead, choosing the outside lane. Daniel Suarez to his left.
Suarez going to make quick work there and just try to check out. And this is where it gets crazy back there in the pack, where you have cars.
Wallace really loose into the corner, made contact with another car. That's Brandon Brown in the 90, slipping and sliding all over the place.
He was the last car that had pitted at lap 113 that didn't come at the end of stage 2.
Remember Bubba saying he needed to keep his emotions in check? That'll check you there, won't it?
It's just where you get loose into the corner there, and you have cars that you're just way faster than you're trying to get around them as quick as you can. You got cars behind you pressuring, and you just got loose.
Restarted 11th. Wallace now scored in the 16th position.
Prior to that contact, he was probably in the driver's seat, Adam. He had the track position. He has a really fast car. Now he's going to have to rebound.
Well, he's still got a fast car. He's just got to, you know, to keep his head cool and start picking them up one at a time like he did the first half of the race.
Started 18th today, came to the front. As we said, won stage 2, first stage victory of 2017. Kyle Larson came down pit road at lap 123 with Bubba, and he is working to the front. Best of those drivers that pitted at the end of stage 2 has worked his way from 12th to 7th.
You see the blue car behind him there. That's Elliott Sadler. He's starting to work his way, and along with Ryan Blaney up into the top 10.
And Sadler, our top runner right now when you talk about drivers eligible for the Dash for Cash. Like everybody else, 14th or worse. Brennan Poole, William Byron, and Darrell Wallace Jr. 14th, 15th, and 16th. The other 3 drivers going for the $100,000 with 68 laps to go. Right here with Elliott Sadler. Look back to Ryan Blaney. He's led 28 laps today. Blaney's 10th. And there you see bottom right of your screen the drivers eligible for the Dash for Cash and where they are in the running order.
This has been an entertaining match, hasn't it?
Oh, there's been so much to talk about.
See on the right of the screen the dominant car, Kyle Larson, and that was the 2 car of Austin Dillon, who was in a crash. And here's Bubba with a really fast car trying to work around Brennan Poole.
Hard to believe when you consider how much success he's had in his career, especially this season. Sponsorship has been an issue for Darrell Wallace Jr. He's got the Cars 3 on the hood this weekend and picks up a position here around Brennan Poole.
And you see how hard he drove into the corner to try to get the 48 actually behind him. Whoa, and you see Demo.
Big slide for
just
Poole,
no crashing.
and there goes Blake Cook. Taps a wall a couple of times with the nose of his race car. Our 10th caution of the afternoon with 65 laps to go. He was scored in the 18th position.
Turn 4 again.
I think, Joey, that just tells you how fast things happen here. He was just an innocent bystander. Those 2 cars ahead of him made contact, and Poole goes around.
Well, Poole makes a hell of a save right here. You see, he's all kinds of crossed up. And so does Hemrick, actually.
And the third guy.
The third guy spins out. Blake Cook, and I don't. The view doesn't show exactly where it was. Here's a better angle. You see, he's just trying to check up. I think he got in the back of Hemrick, and around he goes. And it's just such a tight spot on the racetrack, and you know, it's easy to spin out there.
Did you say track position is king? Because Suarez was 2 laps down, but because of strategy, he's out front, and now the guy to beat.
So tell me, do you feel all mature entering your first race as a 21-year-old? I feel less mature, honestly. Hanging on for dear life and so loose.
I think my right front might be coming apart. Or we're seeing a couple that, if you think it is, bring it to us. Just back her down.
Well, our short runs are good enough to where if we can just get in front, we'd be fine.
Welcome back to Dover. 62 laps to go in this race. And Larry Mack, we've seen some crazy racing to end these stages. But here's my question. With 62 laps to go, everyone can make it on fuel if it stays green. Everyone has a tire left, though. When you look at the guys like Sadler, Blaney, Wallace, do they have time and do they have the car to make it back up front?
Well, I think the guy to watch is going to be our pole sitter, Kyle Larson, in that 42 car, because he's already made it well inside the top 10, and I definitely think he's got a car that can get there. Yeah, it's going to go by in a hurry, but he has an awfully good race car.
All right, we'll see if it does stay green. This is how the race has played out so far. As I mentioned, the end of the stage is very exciting, but we've seen some exciting racing. Now, the Gibbs guys have had an issue. Both the 18 and the 19 had tire issues. They both went 2 laps down, but Daniel Suarez is leading this race right now.
Yeah, it took some strategy to get him up there, but here's Kyle Larson, our pole sitter, led all the laps in that first stage. But Brennan Poole and William Byron, they are the ones that became the first 2 drivers to qualify for the Dash for Cash.
That's right. They're racing for $100,000. With 5 laps to go, here are 2 buddies racing each other for the end of stage 2, Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney. What a drag race to the finish of that stage. And then, of course, Elliott Sadler and Bubba Wallace were able to move on, advance, and they are racing for $100,000. We have 61 laps to go right now as we're still under yellow. The leader is Daniel Suarez. As you guys can see, 28 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Larson, as you mentioned, Larry Mack, he had a fast car early. Let's see if he can get up front and finish this race. Adam?
There you see Kyle Larson, Shannon, restarting in the 6th position. He's led the most laps today, 83 on the board for him. Ryan Blaney has led 28. He's on the same strategy as Larson. They will restart 6th and 10th, respectively. Out front, Daniel Suarez. He and Matt Tiff 1st and 3rd. The teammates from Joe Gibbs Racing had tire problems early. They have come back from 2 laps down. Ryan Reed up there in the 16. Restart comes with 60 laps to go at Dover.
Remember earlier, Adam, when we asked where Cole Custer's been?
Here he is.
I see him. But God, what a strong move for Dylan.
You see Larson's almost the second and is the second
there
already.
There goes Larson.
Look at that.
My math says 6th to 2nd in 1 lap. That's strong, huh?
Pretty good. I want to see how he did that.
Puts Custer back to 3rd. He's the top series regular right now. Ryan Reed is 4th. Matt Tiff 5th. Elliott Sadler dropped back on the restart. He's 13th now.
There's a lot that went down on that restart, Adam.
It's William Byron, who's 10th, is our top eligible driver for the Dash for Cash. A big shakeup on the restart.
Well, Joey, you said you wanted to see it, and I do too. I don't know how Larson did what he did, and I can't figure out where Elliott Sadler went. You can see Larson.
He's there in the 6th position.
3rd row outside.
See that kind of stacks. The whole bottom lane stacks up, so he actually gets to 3rd just by going straight. That works out pretty good.
But that's what happened to Sadler. He restarted that inside lane, nowhere to go.
Yeah, he didn't have to do anything too crazy. He was able to turn down underneath Cole Custer off of turn 2, which kept him going. But here you see a battle for the lead already.
I think I could have made that move going past all those people going straight, you know?
Oh, of course.
Well, you are a 2-time winner here. Suarez won this race last October. Kyle Larson hadn't led a lap here until today. Started on the pole and trying to go back to P1.
And I don't see Suarez giving this lead up too easy. And you see Larson getting a good run from the top, crossing back under. But I don't see this battle just ending anytime soon.
Oh, and Suarez ran it down in there.
Suarez going to hang on his right rear quarter there. Get a good run again. This is going to be a fun battle to watch.
Now, do you think Suarez, I know he wanted to hold the lead, but probably thinking if I just hold him down there, maybe he'll use up his tires, take some of his advantage away also.
Yes. And also get the 00 to where he's pressuring the 42 as well. So Suarez is going to run that top as hard as he possibly can. And Larson's going to just keep applying that pressure and try to wear him down.
This reminds me a little bit of a year ago in the Cup race when Larson was racing Kenseth for the lead, looking for his first career victory at NASCAR's top level. All clear, but not by much. Larson leads once again, coming to 53 to go.
What Larson wouldn't have given for that foot a year last fall, huh?
No kidding. And this race is far from over. We haven't had a long run. Our longest green flag stretch has been 18 laps. We don't even know who's good on the long run yet. We haven't seen that.
Last 7 races here, we've had a run of at least 42 laps to end it. So it does have a history of long green flag runs. Everybody with one set of tires remaining. Should we get a caution and some guys decide to dive on the pit road?
We've kind of messed with history today, though, right, Adam? With the stages and all the cautions we've seen. And also just the comers and goers. Here comes Elliott Sadler back inside the top 10 after that tough start. He's had a fast car all day. We know how good Blaney's been.
Sadler gets around gone. That means he's right behind William Byron. Those are the top 2 in the dash for cash right now. Brennan Poole's 12, Darrell Wallace Jr. 14. Those are the other drivers involved for the $100,000.
It looks to me right now Ryan Blaney's as fast as anybody running up through the field all the way up to 3rd.
First 3 quarters have been really good. I'm ready for the 4th quarter. We'll have that for you when we continue on. Kyle Larson leading it at the Monster Mile. .45 laps to go for the Xfinity Series here at Dover. Kyle Larson leading. We remind you of this. The widest selection of parts have never been easier to shop. Check out eBay Motors to find the right part for your ride. Find it, add it, get it fast. So Larson is leading. Behind him now in second is Ryan Blaney. They both pitted at lap 123. Daniel Suarez is 3rd. He, Cole Custer, and Ryan Reed in the top 5. Pitted at lap 113, as did Matt Tiff to his 6th. And behind them, a host of drivers that also came at lap 123. Justin Allgaier, William Byron, and Elliott Sadler. Out of balance on strategy. You see the numbers here, but track position means so much. And the guy that's been dominant today out front once again. Let's hear from Blake Cook. He's walking from the care center, Jamie.
And Blake, got sideways and had 2 taps on that inside wall, but it didn't look bad enough to be a race ender. What was the problem?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad at all. Just something got hung on the right front, and when we crashed, I considered it a crash and that we were done. Man, my leaf filter Chevy was rolling good. One of the best cars we've had this year. Very thankful for my whole team. Everybody at Leaf Filter for giving me the opportunity. We definitely didn't want a points day like this, but we did get 2 stage points in stage 2. And I have the best sponsor out there, Leaf Filter, the best team, and we'll rebound really strong.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Blake.
I tell you, I've been watching Ryan Blaney here the last few laps. He's been catching Kyle Larson at about a 1/10 a lap. And now you see him getting into lap traffic. And how you work this traffic is going to be huge on him closing up that distance.
And a lot of times the guy trailing gets a big break in the traffic because those lap guys don't want to lose a lap. But once they go down, maybe they lay over a little bit for the second place runner. And that's what Blaney is certainly hoping for. But what a fast 22 car he has. That Fitzgerald car is hauling and he's fast. Watch Dylan Lupton there sideways. That'll get your attention if you're racing for a win, won't it?
That's not the first time he was sideways today, too.
Under 40 to go. An update on our dash for cash. $100,000 goes to the best finisher of these 4. William Byron has it right now in 8th. Sadler behind him in 9th. And Darrell Wallace Jr. coming back. Fast race car 1 stage 2. He's 11th in the running order right now. You guys talk about the 22 being fast. He overtook 2nd at lap 154. That's 8 laps ago. He was 1.7 seconds back. The difference now 1.1 behind Kyle Larson as we go on board with Justin Allgaier.
Spirited battle here with William Byron in the 9 car. You see Byron, nice run off the corner, and here comes Elliott Sadler. Those cars look like they're hooking up here midway through this run.
Sadler so good in the season opener at Daytona. Won stage 1, stage 2, got crashed out. Could very easily have won that race. Reeled off 8 consecutive top 10 finishes. Just really couldn't find the handle on it last week at Charlotte. Crashed late. It was by far and away his worst effort of 2017. But they've come back again, and he's showing, 1, why he's such a good veteran, and number 2, why he's leading the regular season standings entering this, our 11th race of the year.
Check out these differing driving styles, Joey. Look at Elliott Sadler. He's got that arm laid on the wheel, cranking it over to the left. Bubba has a lower grip down on the steering wheel. His arms never touch it. What do you see here?
Yeah, it's interesting. And I remember watching Greg Biffle drive a lot like Darrell Wallace. He shuffles his hands on the bottom of the steering wheel. And I've never seen anyone else besides Greg do that. Definitely Elliott has more of the traditional turning the wheel with sometimes your elbow up on it. That's more like Mark Martin used to drive like that as well, but he used to wear that elbow pad on his elbow. So definitely 2 different ways of sitting there, and it's just a driver comfort thing. I don't think there's one better than the other. It's just what feels natural to you and what feels right, and maybe over the years as you evolve, what you think you can correct a car with when it gets loose the quickest, and recover back to turn it back to the left.
I think it's like a lot like comparing golf swings. You know, we both have differing swings, and neither one of them work. So.
Exactly. I was wondering where you're going with that.
You must watch a lot of old videos in car camera if you know all about Biffle and Martin. Martin's a Hall of Famer.
I know. I watch you guys a lot. You know, I try to learn from this stuff and try to make myself a little better race car driver at least.
And getting ready for a little TV as well, right?
That's right.
Here comes Elliott Sadler. Adam, we talked about his driving style, arm up on the wheel. It's working right now. He's searching down William Byron. That's a great battle. The teenager and the veteran going at it for a really important spot on the track.
Another young guy in front of him, Matt Tifft, who went 2 laps down early with that tire issue. They've come back, but he now falls outside the top 5. William Byron gets to the inside. Elliott Sadler trying to do the same.
Tiff's dropping in a hurry. It makes you wonder. We've had a pretty good long run here. Could there be another tire issue there? He just started to really losing track time here.
That advantage for Larson at one point got down to 0.7 of a second. But Joey, you mentioned how you manage lap traffic. He did a nice job with that. It's now back out to 1.3.
Yeah, I mean, and navigating through this lap traffic, sometimes in the Xfinity car, as the leader, you're so much faster in some of them. You really don't know where they're going to go, and you're just trying to make your bet when you get into the corner on, okay, what lane do I pick? And hopefully they're not too wide in front of you, and you stop behind them. Because you think about it, if there's two cars that are running a second slower a lap side by side, Blaney's there. Blaney's only 0.7 of a second behind him right now, so he's got it. Larson's doing a good job. He's got to just be able to keep, keeping that momentum through the lap cars.
Bubba got around Allgaier. Don't look now, but with 28 laps to go, he may get back and have a chance to win the cash here.
He's definitely as faster than Sadler, than Byron. A bunch of the cars he's chasing right now.
He's definitely got a fast car, and when you put some monies on the line, it seems like that makes it go a little faster sometimes.
All right, 28 to go. If it stays green, no chance anybody comes to pit road. But what if we get a yellow here in the next 10, 15 laps? What's the thought process, Larry?
Well, that's what's going on pit road right now, Adam. All of these crew chiefs are thinking about what if the situation, because right now we're getting into where we've got roughly 40 laps on these tires. And you look at the fact that the pace has slowed down well over a second. I think there's going to be some of the leaders, if we get that caution in the next 10 or 15 laps, they will stay out, but somewhere there'll be a cutoff. Somewhere back there around like Ryan Reed or William Byron, Elliott Sadler, everyone from them back, they're going to hit pit road and get that last set of fresh Goodyear tires.
I'd say if history means anything, we won't get a caution, because the last 7 times we've come here, we have ended on a long green flag run.
And I was going to point out, Larry, that if there is a caution, these guys are really spreading out the groove. We're seeing people all the way up next to the wall on the high side. So if you pit, get fresh tires, and some other guy stays out, you've got somewhere to go with your runs.
And that's a good thing, but here's the other thing I think of. The top side of the racetrack don't have much rubber on it right now. We saw tires falling apart early in the race, possibly because the track didn't have as much rubber in it. And now when you see cars pushing that groove up higher and higher where there's no rubber, it's going to wear that tire out again. And we may have a tire failure for that reason. So anything can happen still.
Issue for Austin Dillon.
Is the right front issue there?
That's a hard left behind the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Two teams been really strong in 2017. Hasn't really mattered who's driving it. Paul Menard at California. Top 5 run for Ben Kennedy when he got behind the wheel at Talladega. Austin strong each and every week. Looks like it's going to be a DNF here today.
You can see there how wide they're running in the corners.
And isn't that just how racing goes? You win the Coca-Cola 600 and then something happens the next race. It's just how the sport is sometimes, and you got to be able to roll with the punches and also ride the highs as long as you can.
Very humbling.
Yes.
Around every corner.
As we watch Kyle Larson leading here, trying to put J.J. Yaley a lap down. Want to pay off Ross Chastain, his 13th today. Going to make his Monster Energy Series debut here tomorrow. Ran the truck race yesterday. Happy for driver 4 from JD Motorsports, enjoying a nice top 15.
Give a shout out also to Jeremy Clements and Michael Annette, a couple of guys that have hung on the lead lap. Worked real hard today to be in a position to get a great finish. It's good to see underdog stories come to the front. There you see Annette. He's going to be heated up by Kyle Larson here for a bit before long, but right now he runs in the 16th position on the lead lap.
And Kyle Larson did such a good job getting through that. You saw that was a scenario where 2 cars were side by side. They're a lot slower than what you are, and that's the opportunity for Blaney to try to catch up as quick as he can. And he's having a hard time passing Clements right now, so that gives Ryan Blaney and that Fitzgerald Mustang a chance to get up there.
You see Ross Chastain in the 4, racing with Brendan Gaughan. Chastain back up to 12th. Here's Darrell Wallace Jr. trying to get around the 19 of Matt Tifft. If he did, next car he would see Elliott Sadler, William Byron in front of him. They're the other drivers going for the cash. This is last time around. Brendan Gaughan, Ross Chastain.
Oh, Ross tries the crossover move. Little contact in the back of Gaughan there.
These are the two that had a little bit of fun in the beginning of the race, weren't they?
Yeah, I think we heard 62 say on the radio, I do not like 4. I do not like the way 4 drives me.
Dawn's starting to fade a little bit here. Poole going to the inside.
Was tight. I just think it's hard for us to explain, Joey, how hard that is. I mean, these guys are just barely not crashing, and they're running 3 wide doing so.
It makes it look so easy because we don't have smoke off the rear tires and drift them through the corner, but we are right on the edge of out of control. And when anytime you lose that air in the car, it just gets so challenging.
Let's hear from Austin Dillon. Jamie?
Well, he's out of the car in the garage. I heard you say the steering just locked up. Was it a power steering issue or an engine issue?
Yeah, I think it was a power steering issue. We can't see where it started, but that was from all the smoke and the steering locked up down front stretch. So bad day to end with the Ream Chevy, but thought we had a little better car than that. Just I got loose off before and couldn't hold on to it. So we'll just keep working on it. Go to Pocono, I think, next time. So.
Got to be easier to walk away, though, when, as you said, you're coming off a Monster Energy Series win.
Makes
and
you feel
you know
a
when
little
you
better.
come here in the fall, you'll be running for a Cup championship, right?
I'm sure it makes him feel a little better for sure, but not a fun feeling going into the corner and your steering locks up.
Especially at these speeds, and we talk about how challenging these corners are. There's his brother, Ty Dillon, running along just outside of the top 10 and 11.
All right, down to 14 laps remaining now. The advantage for Kyle Larson, 3/4 of a second over Ryan Blaney. Suarez 9 seconds back in third. Then it's Cole Custer and Ryan Reed in the top 5. Next 3 in line, going for the dash for cash. William Byron, Elliott Sadler, Darrell Wallace Jr. And here comes the 22 of Ryan Blaney, starting to make some things happen. And a slow car here front straightaway. It's a 78 of Jordan Anderson. No caution yet.
Looked like Anderson was trying to get to pit road, didn't make it, but then I didn't understand why he wasn't able to keep going, but he's got his momentum back. So
it looks like he found a gear afterwards. I don't really know what happened there. It looks like it was going to bring out a caution, but he got it rolling again to get back around.
And Brendan Gaughan was off the pace too. Looks like he's picked it up, and now Jordan Anderson is going to make a pit stop.
yeah, Gaughan pitted for some reason, so that's the reason for him being slow, and then Anderson to pit road now.
Yeah, Gaughan was just coming off the pit lane, merging back up over off of turn 2. And Brandon Jones has made his way to the garage, Jamie.
Well, he did a great job racing a very wrecked race car all day, but what eventually put you back here, Brandon?
Something broke in the rear end finally. You know, I got into it earlier there on the racetrack. Ended our day pretty quick, so it's got to turn around eventually. These guys just worked so hard all week long. They're putting in plenty of effort, and we've got all the tools to do it here. We just got to keep plugging along. Thanks to AAA for coming on the car this weekend, and Pocono's usually a good track for me, so maybe it'll turn around there. We'll have to see.
Been a frustrating season for Brandon Jones out of Atlanta, Georgia. 3rd DNF of 2017.
See Kyle Larson just picking him up and putting him down here pretty much. Just nice solid laps, passing on lap cars, no mistakes. That's just, you know, Kyle's got so much experience. We knew he was good when he first came onto the scene, but the experience now that he's gotten is with the speed and being able to control that speed. If you remember when he first started, he was fast, but he'd hit everything but the lottery. Now he's figured out how to control it, and you see him leading a lot of races and winning a lot of races.
But if all he has to do, Joey, is look in that rear view mirror, and there's a green Ford that's filling it up. You can see Blaney, he was down by a little over a second. He's closed it down under a second now. It seems like he can match Kyle Larson. Is he saving anything? Can he go get him here late in the going? He only has 8 laps to do it.
He's got to go if he's going to. And here you see the 0 with a flat right rear tire.
Yeah, Garrett Smithley off the pace. He's going to pull it into the garage. No caution for that.
Jordan Anderson again is slow on the track. A lot going on around here.
7 laps to go. Advantage for Larson, 9/10 of a second. Runner up here in 2013 too. Joey Logano looking for his first Dover win. You remember that, huh?
Oh yeah.
Bottom of the hour, Major League Baseball in the National League, Reds and Braves.
Daniel Hemrick is 14th. There you see him just ahead of Larson. trying to remain on the lead lap, but Larson's going to dispose of Daniel off 2.
That shows the pace that the leaders are running right now. Daniel Hemrick's 14th, and look how much faster he was. He's just able to make quick work of Daniel Hemrick. That's just the speed of leaders have. And there he's sitting Ryan Blaney sideways. Oh my goodness.
5 to go now. You saw the stat for Dash for Cash. William Byron leading there. Problems for Jeremy Clements on the right front, but he gets down on the apron and will make it to pit road. No caution once again.
Well, seeing these tires go flat just makes me think about the cars that were running the high side and rubbering it in up there on that green surface if that's what's wearing them out.
4 to go for Kyle Larson.
Oh.
How about right down the middle? Splitting lapped cars. That slide for Blaney really took him out of the game. He was just inside of a second behind. Now it's 1.3.
He's probably just trying to get his breath out of him. That thing was nearly crashed.
But look how much further back Daniel Suarez is. He's 13 seconds behind the first and second place car. That is huge. How much faster these first and second place cars are than the whole field.
And for the Dash for Cash, William Byron a second in front of Elliott Sadler. They are 6th and 7th on track. We'll have 2 laps remaining, this time by Larson across the start-finish line.
Larson has widened out his groove too, Joey. He's running a little bit higher on the track, but it looks like he's home free now.
Yeah, I would think so. At this point, the track's rubbered in pretty good. You just don't want to be the first guy up there.
1 lap to go for Kyle Larson. White flag is out. Brought to you by Credit One Bank.
He doesn't need to pass Brennan Poole here, but he's going to anyways.
For good measure. A dominating day for Kyle Larson. Started on pole. Is going to lead 137 laps. 8th win of his career. Going to be his first at Dover. Kyle Larson does it. And a top 5 finish for Ryan Reed. Right behind him, William Byron, the best of those going for the Dash for Cash. He will get the $100,000 here today.
And you suggested perhaps Bill Byron will help pay his tuition at Liberty University with that $100,000, huh?
I think that's a good financial plan.
Congratulations, William Byron.
It's a $100,000 car. Good job, guys. Sorry we couldn't get more, but at least we got something. Good job. We can build on this.
Yeah, at least you got $100,000. I mean, what the heck, right?
3rd win of 2017 for Kyle Larson. Blaney couldn't get back to him, trying to get his 2nd in a row. Daniel Suarez was 3rd. Cole Custer, the best series regular for the 2nd consecutive week. He was 4th. Ryan Reed 5th. William Byron 6th. Gets the cash on the way. The eBay Motors post-race show on FS1. Bottom of the hour, it's Major League Baseball on FS1. Right now, the eBay Motors post-race show. It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Wrapping things up for the 11th race of the year in Dover, Delaware. Kyle Larson able to collect the win, third of 2017. Big payout for rookie William Byron, the 19-year-old out of Charlotte, collects $100,000 via the Dash for Cash. Let's head to Victory Lane and be a part of the celebration at Dover.
Dominating day for Kyle Larson. 3 wins this season, but first at the Monster Mile Drivers Racetrack. Does this one mean a little bit more special due to the challenge?
Yeah, you know, I've had some good runs here at Dover, and I've had some bad ones too. So to get a win with Parker Store on the car too, I've been close to winning every time they've been on our car or truck at Homestead. So it's really cool to get Parker Store. They've been part of my career really since I was, I think, 9 or 10 years old. So very special day to get them victory. They got a lot of their people here from Parker Store, so looking forward to celebrate with them. But heck of a race, you know, Shiplet and Davin, the whole pit crew, everybody at the shop did an amazing job preparing this car. So had a blast. Blaney was probably equal as me. We just got a better start there after that second stage than he did.
Dominating day from the pole. Chris?
Well, William Byron shakes that monkey, finally gets back in the top 10, and you got a $100,000 check here. 19 years old, a lot of money. What are you going to do with it?
Oh, man, I don't know. Probably just credit this race team. Hopefully we can keep building on this. We got off cycle the last stop. I wish we could have gotten a win, but 100 grand's really good. So good top 6 for us. Hopefully we can get better next week. I think this is really something to build on.
Great job. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Third different driver to win in the Dash for Cash this year. Second rookie, Daniel Hemrick did it at Bristol. Justin Allgaier won the other 2 installments, one coming at Phoenix. He also got it done at Richmond International Raceway. So here are the regular season standings, 11 races in. Elliott Sadler leads by 12 over Allgaier. Both Allgaier and Reed locked into the playoffs with those regular season victories. And a couple of rookies inside the top 5. Youth is served once again.
Yes, it is. We were worried about Cole Custer, not a lot of pace early, finishes in the top 5. Blake Cook, he's outside the top 10 now in the points. That team will look to rebound when we head to Pocono.
Observations today, Joey?
Tires. Tires are probably the biggest thing I think about right now, and seeing the struggles that the some cars had with that. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal in the Cup cars after the track's rubbered up some, and I don't see any weather in the forecast that I know of at least. But yeah, I think the racing was good. It was interesting for sure. The stages definitely changed a lot and really threw a big difference in the race. You know, without the stages, you would have seen these cars up in front the whole time, but the stages definitely changed everything up pretty big.
How about speed for the Roush Fenway organization? Laps led for Darrell Wallace Jr. won stage 2. He finished 8th, and his teammate Ryan Reed finished 5th. His first top 5 since he won the season opener at Daytona.
You know, it's good to see Reed have a good run too. He's so good on the big tracks, and to see him be so competitive on this tough 1-miler, I think that bodes well for the team going forward. And I take away from this race strategy. And what kind of strategy will we see tomorrow when these Monster Energy Cup teams hit this track?
We'll talk all about it. Race day begins here on FS1, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. June is NASCAR month on FS1. 4 races to go for NASCAR on Fox, and it all starts tomorrow on the Monster Mile. Joey, good luck to you. Coming to the front.
Thank you. I'll need it. We got our car a lot better, so we'll work our way up through the field.
Looking for your first victory here at Dover International Speedway. Michael, we'll see you tomorrow. Pre-race coverage, Hollywood Hotel throughout the race. Kyle Larson wins it today. We offer our congratulations to him, but also to that guy, William Byron. Big smile for the kid who got $100,000 in our final installment of the Dash for Cash. We will see you next week from Pocono. Now it's Major League Baseball. Let's go to our studios in Los Angeles.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.